It's alright to tell me what you think about me. I won't try to argue or hold it against you. I know that you're leaving, you must have your reasons. The season is calling, your pictures are falling down. The steps that I retrace, the sad look on your face, the timing and structure. Did you hear? He loved her. A day late, a buck short. I'm writing the report on losing and failing. When I move, I'm flailing now. And it happened once again. I'll turn to a friend, someone who understands, sees through the master plan. When everybody's gone and you've been here for too long, to face this on my own, well, I guess this is growing up. And maybe I'll see you at a movie sneak preview. You'll show up and walk by on the arm of that guy, and I'll smile and you'll wave. We'll pretend it's okay. The charade, it won't last. When he's gone, I won't come back. And it happened once again. You'll turn to a friend, someone who understands, sees through the master plan. When everybody's gone and you've been here for too long, to face this on your own, well, I guess this is growing up. I guess this is growing up. I guess this is growing up. You little Blink 182 there, because you know it's just from a better time. We're striking matches on the TV, setting fires on our phones, bearing crosses we believe, and dying on. And tempers flare, the flames fly higher, as we soar closer toward the sun. But I like to think that too much damage, it ain't been done. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. We're about to fall apart now, if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the great divide. Sometimes it seems that our convictions, side of the fence that we stand on, makes us all too damn different to get along. But I've seen strangers love each other like a mother mother does her son. What we see ain't only all that's going on. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. We're about to fall apart now if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the Great Divide. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. We're about to fall apart now if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the Great Divide. The Great Divide.
I don't know if there's any bigger divide. Actually, there's probably a few bigger divides than this, but it is a huge divide, this conversation. And it seems that there's, it's either you love this or you extremely hate this conversation and just the conversation itself. And because of that, not just because of that, but partially because of that, we want to have the Flat Earth Chat. And we're going to do so with David Weiss, who's going to join us in 1 second. Thank you, Chris, for that music. Thank you, friends, for joining us. Whew. Are we ready?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Dave, give us a thumbs up. Can you hear? You good? You ready? Dave?
I am ready.
Okay, let's bring you in. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's do this.
Whoa.
Let me just put
now,
just
that's
a
not
second
good because that's not
Nope.
the right. Here we go. There we go.
Oh,
now,
wait a minute.
Can you make me full aspect ratio?
Yes.
This way we can.
1 second here.
There you go. That works.
We have.
Wait, that worked for you? Okay, 1 second. Let me put you back.
I have an issue though. Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. I gotta plug my headphones. For some reason, say something.
Hello.
And this program doesn't behave properly, but now I'm good. I got it. You're in my head.
It's probably not you. Rumble Studio is still working on all their stuff, and yep, we got you.
You can hear the tapping.
Yeah,
sure can.
All right, very good.
I think we're good. I think you know what? Every time we've had a guest in the last 4 weeks, the first minute or so has been exactly this conversation.
It's
we
okay.
Can't hear. We can't.
It's Rumble.
So
Rumble's working out the bugs.
It's part of our show.
That was a very good guitar playing. I would go see you perform.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And everyone in PEI can do it this summer, I'm sure, as he's gigging around
Indeed.
Prince Edward
All
Island.
right, so
Dave.
Go ahead.
Wait, now, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. This is a conversation I'm sure you've had 65 billion times at this point. Am I right? But
close.
Before we get into anything about the topic itself, the first thing that we like to do with new guests is to just get a little bit of idea of you. And I want to know your origin story. How did you become this person that is spreading this information that is something that nobody wants to talk about? I just want to get a picture of, who you are, basically.
Yeah, let's do that. But I was listening to you guys and all the stuff you're saying. I had 900 things to say, and I've forgotten all of them other than the fact that Alex Michael, Conspiracy Music Guru, had Flat Earth on his guitar. My name is actually on that guitar. We a bunch of us signed it at a conference. But
cool.
He's the one that suggested you, actually. We had him on back in January.
Oh, that's where this came from.
Yes. Yeah. So here we go. We want to continue with that. But so tell us a little bit about you, Dave. First.
So I'm the same. Listen, all flat earthers have the same story. We thought it was stupid. We refused to look at it. We ridiculed the people that talked about it. And then we tried to debunk it. We didn't even say, let me find the truth. We said, I'm going to just disprove this and be done with this nonsense. And that's when you become we'll just say an anti-globalist, right? An anti-globalist.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw one of you was wearing a shirt. I love it. It said, "Ban assault vaccines." Who had that on? That was a good shirt.
That was me.
I like it. I was like, wait a minute. Are these guys? Until I read the last word, I'm like, okay, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
So briefly, I was born on the East Coast. I went to college. I went into corporate America. I excelled in 2 different industries. I left corporate America and started my own business with a couple partners, and was doing extremely well, the commercial solar power development business. And at the same time, I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking at all the major deceptions in the world. And people started sending me flat earth stuff. And I'm like, delete, ban, ban. I just ban people. Like, you're too stupid to even listen to our podcast. And then another researcher, Sophia Smallstorm, who I respect very much, she's like, Dave, I think the earth is flat. And I was just like, not you also. And she sent me a couple of videos to watch. And, I'm not going to watch a video and go, oh, yeah, okay, earth is flat. I watched the video. No, the videos are just ways to pass information, just like you guys are passing information on your show. And then, as it says in the Bible, verify everything, trust nothing, verify everything. And that's what I tell people. Don't believe me. If you're having a visceral reaction to me being on this show right now, that means that you are so confident the earth is a globe that you should be able to destroy me and give me 1 globe proof. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof.
That's interesting. And
that's a lot of money today.
That is a lot of money.
I have no fear in losing my Bitcoins because earth is flat. But listen, the question you're going to ask is, why? What difference does it make? Everyone says it. What difference does it make? The question. I know them all. What difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday, and I said the same thing. Let's save that one for the end.
Yeah, there's actually, I find this all fascinating. The conversation itself is fascinating, but of course I want to talk about the conversation itself. But all of this, and I'm curious, can you remember the first thing that you saw that got you into the topic? Like, is there
100%
a video or a person or something?
So when you hear about flat Earth, we're programmed. We go, Eratosthenes figured it out 2,000 years ago in Greece with his sticks and shadows, and sunsets prove the earth is flat. Seasons prove a globe. Seasons prove the earth is a globe. Day and night. And you have all of these things. And, when you Google flat earth, you get pictures like this, right? Oh, this is the dumbest thing ever, and then there's when you Google flat earth, top 10 reasons the earth is flat, you get top 10 reasons the earth is a globe, right? That's that thing where they don't want you looking there. So guys like you, guys like me, we're like, I think I want to look there. And when I started looking, I was watching boats over the horizon, and that's what got me, because I live, excuse me, I live on the water, and I've seen boats go over the horizon. At least I think I remember seeing boats go over the horizon. And when you look, I watched these videos where the boat would disappear, and then they would zoom in on it, and it would reappear again. I'm like, wait a minute. And that's when Nikon had just come out with their P900 super zoom camera. And I went and I bought a $1,000 camera, tripod, and I zoomed in on boats that were way, way, way too far for to be able to see. So let me just show you one of those. Where is it? So here is, let's see if this is it. So right there, you don't see any boats here. You don't see any boats. And what we're doing is we're increasing your angular size, and all of a sudden, oh, look, there's a boat. Now, is that over the curve, or was it just too small for your eyes to resolve? When you zoom out, watch, it'll just blink it's gone. And that's called the angular resolution limits of your eyes, right? Here's another one, right? No boat here. Then as we're zooming in, we're increasing the angular size. And as we're increasing it, all of a sudden you'll see, oh, look, There is a boat. Where is the boat? There it is. Here it comes. Right
Mhm.
there. Now, look, my finger can't hide that whole boat, right? But if my finger was a wave in the foreground, it could hide the entire boat, right? And that's why things appear to disappear from the bottom up. Get up a little higher. You're not seeing over the ball. You're just getting a better angle of view, and you're able to see things.
Oh, this is not going to work now. Hey.
What happened?
Okay. So Dave, it's
Yeah.
so this is the first thing, the horizon thing that really said, okay, wait, now this camera and the optical illusion that you uncovered here was kind of the first way that you were like, well, wait, now I might rethink this.
Yeah, well, that was the first thing, and then I started looking at other things and microwave towers, and microwaves are line of sight. They don't bounce off the ionosphere, right? And that line of sight. So a microwave tower, they have microwave towers on boats, on shorelines that are reaching. They shouldn't go 10 miles because at 10 miles there's 60 feet of curvature, 66 feet of curvature, right? But they're going 800 miles. It's crazy. This picture right here, this doesn't seem far.
Right.
This camera is the camera, my bad, is about a foot off the water, and we can see this 6.2 miles away, 9.4 miles away. Doesn't seem like far, but the globe math says there should be 59 feet of curvature. So 59 feet of this should be missing, but we can see the water far beyond it. This doesn't mean the Earth isn't a globe. It would have to be
it's
hundreds of times bigger. And if the Earth is hundreds of times bigger, what are they hiding?
This is true. And that's fascinating. Just the optical side of it, I guess it's interesting to look at, but obviously it's not solid evidence. So I'm curious while we're talking about it, and I can't get the right camera and angle for both of us to be on screen the right way here, but I am talking to you. I am here, but
Okay.
I'm curious what are the main things that are most convincing to you that the world or the globe is flat, that there is not a globe, that it's actually a flat Earth?
Yeah. So if you live on a ball, there needs to be a physical horizon at a certain distance. They tell us the globe is 24,901 miles in circumference. And using real math, the curvature rate would say at 3 miles, there's 6 feet of curvature. So if you're standing next to calm water on a clear day, you're 6 feet tall, you should not be able to see the surface of that water beyond 6 miles because it's curving. But we can see much farther. We can see way much farther. This is a Suez Canal, over 100 miles long. There should be over a mile of curvature, but there's not. It was built on a straight datum line, no curvature ever taken into effect, right? So large bodies of water at rest lie flat, right? And that's just a fact. And when water's cold, it freezes. Right. So here we have a lake or a canal. We got a camera on the ice, 6 inches off the ice. And this guy put 4 lights at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles. Now, again, that doesn't seem far because the Earth is so big, you can't see the curvature. That's what they want you to say. But even adding in magical refraction, because when you point out to a glober, hey, the top of that building should be behind the curve, they go, oh, refraction. And you're like, how much refraction? And they slide the refraction meter over until it shows up on the model. They go, that much refraction. So it's unfalsifiable. So even adding 50% refraction, right? This should be 30 feet below the curve, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. I gave the globe a massive, massive advantage, and we can still see them. So let's look at 2 options. One, the camera's on the ice, and it's seeing all of the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4. Option 2, the camera's 6 inches above the ice. which means that if the Earth is a globe, the horizon is less than 1 mile. Less than 1 mile. So the camera is seeing its physical horizon, and then these lights are refracting up those different amounts and stopping at exactly that tangent line. They're not going below it. They're not refracting higher. They're refracting magically to this line. Which one makes sense? Here's the thing. People were not taught to think in school. They were taught to memorize and regurgitate. Okay? If you want to be a teacher, you can just memorize and regurgitate, and then you become a teacher. If you want to get straight A's, memorize and regurgitate, right?
Yeah. Oh God, this is not friendly. Yeah, and I absolutely know what you're saying, that some of this is actually very logical, what you're saying, that if there's a curve there, then you obviously should take an account of that curve. I'm a little bit distracted because my a good friend Chris Burke got booted and now he can't get back in, so we're just trying to work that out. But I'm going to continue.
Wait, I want to put out something else I forgot to mention at the beginning. You guys mentioned, that you were, when you just posted the fact that I'm going to be on, your people are getting upset. The trolls are going to show up here. They're going to say I'm a grifter. I'm here just selling an app that uses globe data. It's not globe data.
I had that question today, Dave, already. Actually, somebody said ask him about using the globe data for the app. And we'll talk about the app in a moment. It's unfortunate you're sitting on that side, because the way the Rumble Studio works, it's like the cameras. I can't get the angle right here, but anyway, I'll switch back to you in just one moment here. But so in talking about this, Dave, it's the curve of the Earth obviously looks like there's some evidence there to support the claim that, okay, we shouldn't be seeing what we're seeing based on if there is a curve. That's basically what you're saying there with these telephoto lenses, that we can now see further than what we could before. You can tell that it looked like it was an optical illusion, basically, to lose the sight more so than actually the curve of the Earth. Is this kind of what you're on
a flat Earth, the horizon would just be optical, where your eyes can't resolve when the sky and the ground come together. And then you could zoom in and open it up, but then the atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. So that's a whole other thing. We can get into that. Here's just a shot from Malibu to Mount San Jacinto, and the top of this mountain is just over 7,000 feet tall. So we shouldn't be able to see any of this mountain. This is with infrared. Take the infrared off, and it's just blue sky, smoggy blue sky, but you can't see anything. So is this refracting up, magically trying to trick us that the Earth is flat? Or is it really just there and we just never thought about it?
Mm-hmm. That's obviously our mind is going to fill in the blanks for us when we don't have all the information. Our mind will fill in the blanks.
Let me show you this one. So this is a spot in Aluja, France. Now, the sun migrates, and I'll show you guys in a minute, from the Tropic of Cancer for our northern summer. I assume you guys are in the north, right?
We are, yeah.
Yeah, and then it migrates to December 21st out to the Tropic of Capricorn. Twice a year, it lines up with this viewing spot in Aluja, France. And from this altitude, 175 miles away is Mount Canigou, but you can't see it because the globe will say, well, at that distance from that altitude, the curvature calculator says that the top of the mountain should be almost a mile below the curve, right? Mm-hmm. Almost a mile below the curve, so you can't see it. But twice a year, the sun lines up with the viewers, and as the sun goes away, it goes beyond the mountain and backlights it, right? It backlights the mountain right there. And so here's the whole mountain. Now, here's the Glober excuse. Well, the sun is already set. The mountain is below the horizon, but the sun is refracting up so you can see it across what appears to be flat plain. And the mountain, somehow that's in front of the sun that has no light on it on this side of the mountain, of course, is refracting up and blocking the refracted sun. The reason you can't understand that is not because you're stupid, is because it's stupid. Okay. The globe is the dumbest thing ever. And once you have the humility to see it,
The
You can't
globe.
unsee it. Yeah.
The globe is the dumbest thing
The
ever.
globe is the dumbest thing ever, but people think flat Earth is the dumbest thing ever.
It's interesting. So, okay, so beyond the horizon side of
Yeah.
things with our eyes and our sight, is there anything else that is very apparent to you that is a good thing for a person to look into as proof, I
Well,
guess?
there's lots. Let's one of my favorites is airplane routes. So let me ask you a question. We have your globe model. You have the equator going around the middle. Top half is the northern hemisphere. Bottom half is the southern hemisphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
With me?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know how many airports there are in the north, but let's say there's 10,000 airports, whatever. Any two combinations with an origin airport and a destination airport, would a plane ever, on a northern airport, so everything that's above the equator, would a plane ever need to go below the equator to make the fastest trip to that airport?
Would it need to go to?
So going from any northern location to any other northern location, would an airplane need to go below?
It doesn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. And guess what? It never does. No airplane ever goes below from a northern airport to another northern airport, never goes into the southern hemisphere. However, in the south, that's not the case, right? So let's take a look at that. Here we have New Zealand, right? Australia is right around the corner here. We got New Zealand. We have the tip of South America here, Chile, and Argentina. The flight from New Zealand to Argentina, FlightAware says this is the great circle route, quickest route. We're not going over Antarctica, so we're not going to disturb the penguins. There's plenty of places to stop out here. They could even go like this. That would be a pretty short flight. But this is the real route they go. New Zealand up across the equator to San Francisco, then over to Texas, and then all the way back down to Argentina. What did your mother tell you? What's the shortest distance between 2 points?
Obviously, go north to several locations and then back down south.
A straight line. New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina.
That's kind of interesting, yeah. But
right?
I guess, if I wanted to ask the question just to ask it, how do I know that is the route of planes?
Yeah, you don't. You have to go verify these things yourself. But yes, you can find it. All right. And then the argument that Globers will come up with is, well, that's their hub, and they had to drop off other passengers and change pilots. And okay, whatever. So at the World Cup soccer in Doha last year, Buenos Aires won. They had their own plane, private plane, and they wanted to go back to Buenos Aires. But they went from Doha to Rome to get fuel, and then they went home. Does that make any sense? Looking at it here, Doha, Rome, Buenos Aires.
All roads lead to Rome. Is that what? I don't know what it is. But I know what you're saying here. Obviously, it makes more sense when you look at the flight path that they're actually traveling in straight lines as indicated on what a flat Earth would be.
Yeah.
And I guess that does make sense to me, Dave. And before I continue, I just need to apologize that Chris is having some technical issues. He had to drop out. He can't get back in. I want to apologize to all the fans and friends that we don't know what's going on, and he may have to just be in the chat and let us have this conversation. But Chris,
wow.
I don't know what to do either, because maybe that's what it is. There's some sort of, I think it's Rumble. I don't want to think there's any nefarious stuff going on here, but it is.
You never know.
He's still in the chat right now saying, he's sad that he can't take part, but he is blaming Rumble. But maybe it is something else on the go here, because I don't know. We've never had that happen before, let's say that. But that just adds to the mystery and mystique and, the conversation itself, Dave.
Let me show you. I'll show you one more. And okay, this is an emergency landing. So when someone has a heart attack or having a baby or whatever, they got to land a plane right away, right? Something happens. This was from Hong Kong. I think the final destination was UK, but they stopped in Germany, 12-hour trip. 4 hours into the flight, a family traveling together, full plane, mother dies. Little kids, father, mother's dead. They can't revive her. She's dead in her seat. They flew for 8 more hours, never stopping anywhere. And then finally they stopped in Germany. 8 hours sitting next to your dead mother. Okay? That's not right. Well, why did they do that? Well, if you look at the actual flight route, 4 hours in, they were over Russia. And if they stopped in Russia, two things would happen. Russia would probably be very helpful, and that wouldn't be good to, for continuing wars and stuff. And two, people like me and other flat earthers would go, why'd you stop in Russia? And we'd have proof. So they couldn't do it. They couldn't stop because we'd have proof. Mm-hmm. Right. So another thing that another proof is, they tell us that the Earth is spinning, wobbling, whirling, and twirling in all these different directions. Right. Mm-hmm. Do you know how fast the Earth is spinning at the equator?
Pretty fast.
Yeah, over 1,000 miles an hour. Right. That's almost 1.5 times the speed of sound. It's orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour. 66.6 average, funny number, and it's chasing the sun at over 500,000 miles per hour in curved trajectories, speeding up and slowing down. Everything is curved, right? Traveling 4.4 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. And you can't feel any of that. And don't give me well, I'm in an airplane, I could drink a glass of water and go to the bathroom. I said, okay, you want to compare the airplane to the slowest motion, the spin? First, you have to double the speed of the airplane. Then you have to take off the outer shell of the airplane because there's no outer shell over the atmosphere. And then you have to nosedive at 1 mile per minute just to follow the curve, right? Let me know how your water's doing at that point. And just to show you what these speeds are, this is the NASA's hypersonic sled track, rocket sled. Can't even see that go by. If you look that up, hypersonic sled track on YouTube, the sound is shocking just watching the video. Hypersonic sled track, right? So check out the speed.
Whoa, that is cool.
So we live on a rocky, lumpy ball surrounded by water, surrounded by high-pressure air, adjacent to a void of no pressure that we call the vacuum of space. That is scientifically impossible. And we are going 10 times faster than that around the sun. And we're chasing the sun at 100 times faster than that. Right? So here's a side view of it. Oh, sorry, crazy. Yeah, crazy. Right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead. And when you go out into nature, we see stuff like this. Right? What does your common sense, your God-given common sense tell you about these pictures? Is this whirling, twirling, and swirling in curved directions, speeding up and slowing down?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. The question I have regarding this, can you go back to your swirly, dirly floating through space thing?
You mean the Narnia space? Go ahead.
So this here, I'm curious, does flat Earth move in that pattern?
No, or is flat Earth doesn't move.
There's no movement. Is that what you're...
The Earth is stationary.
So all with the movement of the planet or whatever we are is not happening in the flat Earth theory. It's a flat stationary thing in space. Is that?
Well, I mean, or biblically, the Earth is flat, but I would never lead with biblical. At least I don't mind leading with biblical, but I wouldn't do it because of the person I used to be.
We'll talk about that in a second, actually, because Chris, is a pastor. His pastor is a fan of yours, I believe, and he wanted to talk about that, but we'll get to there in a second. What were you going to say there?
Yeah, so I'm just showing you, this is a top-down view of the Earth. Here's our world pond. The shoreline of our pond is called Antarctica. Antarctica is not a continent at the bottom of a ball. Antarctica is the shoreline that contains the water. Antarctica is the highest continent on Earth. It's over double number 2. Average height. The sun is small and local, and wherever the sun is, it's noon. If I called somebody in Brazil right now, they'd say that it's noon and the sun's over my head. And if I called my friend in Sydney right now, he'd say it's early in the morning, the sun's just rising, right? and the sun goes around. This outer line is the Tropic of Capricorn. And so in December 21st, it was out here. It's moving into the Tropic of Cancer to bring the sun closer to us so it appears higher in the sky and it's warmer. Seasons prove the Earth is flat.
Okay, interesting.
You want to see some seasons? You want to talk about seasons for a
Yeah,
second?
let's talk about seasons. You lay all these facts on me, and then we'll talk more about. Because I'm not here to debunk anything.
No, that's all right. Listen, ask the hard questions,
exactly. I just
it's
want
no problem.
I want to hear what you have to say. Basically,
so they tell us our sun is 93 million miles away, and the rays all. Whoops, what is going on here? I have to go like this and transition. Okay, they say the rays come in straight. Okay. And when the rays, so it's hottest right here because this is the most direct. These are spread out, right? So this tilting thing, like why is the heat pattern going diagonal, right? Wouldn't the heat just be in this area here, straight across? Wrap your mind around that. On a flat Earth, the sun migrates from Cancer to Capricorn, back to Cancer. So it's migrating in here as it's spinning around. And so it's heating up this area. This is the heated area. This absolutely proves Earth is flat. So you and I were outside and it's freezing cold. And somebody comes over and holds a heat lamp, let's say 10 feet above my head, above your head, whatever. So I say, where do you see the sun? And you're like, oh, it's directly above me right here. Are you warm? Yeah, I feel that heat. Well, where do I see the sun? It's at like a 45-degree angle. It's not directly over me, and I'm cold. So this person will walk over, keeping the sun at the same height. It's getting lower in the sky for this person, even though it's still 10 feet. It's getting higher for this person. And so now I'm warm. The sun is high in the sky. You're cold. The sun is lower in the sky and farther away. That's how seasons work. If seasons work the other way, in June, what state are you guys in?
We're up in Canada. We're in Eastern Canada.
All right. So I'm in Connecticut on the East Coast.
Okay, and, we're not that far away.
Yeah. So in June, during our summer, when the sun appears on the horizon, so that's the most tilted it could possibly be away. I could feel the heat. I can get a suntan. In December at noon, when the sun is as high as it is in the sky for the day, I could look at the sun and not even feel the heat on my face. And did you know during our winter, the sun is allegedly 3.5 million miles closer to us than it is during our summer in the helio nonsensical model?
I love all the terms. The anti-globalist or the glober. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well, they call us flat earthers. Well, you're glober. That's I mean, it's nothing derogative, but it is what it is.
It's true. Okay. Keep going. What else?
Yeah. So this is called the analemma. It used to be on all the globes, right? And so if you take a picture of the sky, of the sun and the sky from the same position every day or every week or every month, it'll make this pattern. So here we have this is the sun in the sky, marking the position of the sun in the sky at whatever time they do it, and then as it starts going, 24 hours later, and so on and so on. And then it's going to go, if you watch the date here, 9, 10, 11, 12, here we go, January. So it makes this figure 8. Now, if the Earth was a tilted globe, like they tell us, that figure 8, the X would be right on the equator, and both loops would be the same size. 6 months in the north, 6 months in the south, because the Earth is tilted going around the sun. So we should be tilted towards the sun. But we get this big outer southern loop. Why is that? Why is that the case? And the answer is because on a flat Earth, the sun has to make a wider round. So here, I'll speed this up. And so right now, it's on the equator. Let's go to, where are we? February, March, April, May, June. So in June, is that showing? There we go. In June, the sun is in here closer to us in the north, making it once every 24 hours, making this small circle. And so think of the analemma, the pictures of the analemma. And then 6 months later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sun moves out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and still in the same 24 hours, it has to make a bigger circle. So it's making a bigger, faster circle. That's the bigger outer limb of the analemma. The analemma, which used to be on globes, proves the Earth is flat. There would have to be symmetry if the Earth is a globe. Everything in the north would have to be the same in the south 6 months later. But there's not. In the north, at 85 degrees north, there's wild animals and people and plants and trees and everything. At just 60 degrees south, not even that's as far south, there's nothing. There's no animals, there's no trees, there's nothing. Okay? Why is that?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got? So I'm trying to. It's actually kind of overwhelming. A lot of the information. It's all very scientific. That diagram that you just showed of the what did you call it?
The analemma.
Analemma. I never ever saw that movement of the sun in that. I've never seen the pictures put like that to show that movement before. So
they don't want you to see that, because if you see it, you might actually think about it, and if you think about it, you might be like, wait a minute, something's going on here. Here is, whoops, that's not it. The analemma. Is this it? That's the analemma movie. Here's the analemma over Stonehenge.
Wow.
Is this? I showed it a minute ago. Nope, that's not it. The analemma.
What did that say? Earth spine.
I had another. I showed you analemma. Is this it? Oh yeah. So here's the analemma, and it's going out and in. So this is from the south, because it's the top part. You can tell because the bigger loop is on the top. So wherever you would see, you'd be seeing it from the other side of the analemma, right? From the north, we're looking at the small and the big, and from the south, we're looking at the big to the small.
Right.
And so this is the path that it takes every 24 hours over the course of a year.
So north and south is weird to me in this world.
Let me show you. I'm glad you asked. It's my favorite topic. It's my favorite topic. So circumnavigation is the big one. So how does it work? So on a flat Earth map, we have our center, which is the north. So I have a neodymium magnet right here. That's our North Pole, our magnetic North Pole. It's a magnet. With me?
Right. Yep.
My ship or airplane or whatever you want to call it, it's a compass, and the needle is pointing towards the center. So, your compass, what direction is 90 degrees this way off of north?
East.
West.
90?
Say west. No. You're right. I said 90 degrees off to the left. 90 degrees is east, 270 is west. You're right. Trick question. My bad. Okay. My bad. All right. So if I try to push this ship west, I have to keep turning to keep this needle pointed towards the center. So I'm actually heading 270 degrees, which is a circle on a flat Earth. Guess what? It's a circle on a globe Earth also. If I go 90 degrees east, 90 degrees east, it's a circle, and it brings me right back to where I started from. Does that prove the Earth is flat? Nope, because it's exactly the same on a globe. Right. Now, if I try to dead reckon, which means I'm not going to correct my turn, so as soon as I start going west, I'm going south. South is every direction away from north. All of these lines coming out of the middle are heading south.
Gotcha. But the terminology would even be wrong in this case, because it's not
what
north
terminology?
south. this using the words north, south, west, and east in this.
No, they are. That's a perfect terminology. But understanding that east and west are circles is what's important. Globers don't even realize that they're like, pilots and ship captains don't have to turn right all the time when they're heading west. Yes, they do, and they report on it all the time. But if you were on a track 500 miles around, you wouldn't even know that you were turning. You would think you were driving straight. You wouldn't even notice. And if you're going by compass, you'd make micro adjustments, and that would be your turn. That's just 500 miles. What about thousands of miles, right? The equator is supposedly 24,000 miles around. Excuse me. So let's continue. So now if I go south, listen to my voice again. Sip of juice here. If I try to go south, I won't pop up over here on a globe. I should pop up over here. If I went south from Santiago or Chile, I should pop up in Australia. But look, now I'm going north, north, north. And as soon as I pass the North Pole, watch the compass. It just did a 180. And now I'm heading south. Every direction is south. Everywhere you point, every straight line will take you south.
Wow. Okay. That's
So hold on, we're not done. We're not done yet. Okay, we're not done yet.
This is excellent. This is good, chat. How many times have you actually had this chat with anybody that has the information that Flat Earth Dave has here? I bet nobody's actually sat down and listened to any of this stuff. But anyway, I'm just talking to the chat
people
while
don't
you get ready here. For
Amelia Earhart circumnavigated the world. She either went east or west. So these are all the stops that she made. There she goes. That doesn't prove the Earth is flat or globe. It doesn't prove either. She just went around the world, right? Billions of people have done it east and west. 0 have done it south. 0, right? Except there was a world record flight. Went from America down South America, went to the alleged South Pole, came up Africa, Madagascar, up through Europe, around the North Pole. It took them like 2 or 3 days, whatever it said. And they're like, look, that's it. The Earth is a globe because we just did this epic flight. Okay? Epic flight. Well, let's look at that on a flat Earth map. Here they went down, South America, alleged South Pole, around Africa, Madagascar, UK. Look, that's all they did. They just did this stupid circle, and everyone's so brainwashed they believe they went around the world.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Questions?
Yes, I do. Flight travel. We got horizontal issues. We have magnetic north, magnetic south. We have the Amadella. What'd you call it?
The analemma.
Analemma.
Yep.
I'm curious about space. What is space in the flat Earth world, and why is NASA providing us with a different picture?
So in the 1950s, they started exploring Antarctica. At least this round of civilization did. And Admiral Byrd went on TV and said he found land beyond the South Pole bigger than the United States that no human has ever set eyes upon. And that's weird. That would be in between Australia and Africa. I think somebody would have set eyes upon it. And then immediately after that, they say, hey, we're going to the moon. Don't look over here. Look over here. We're going to send some Freemasons to the moon. And then, are you guys past the moon landing yet? You guys know that the moon landing wasn't real?
I think Chris and I can't speak for Chris, but I'm a person that is open to most things being fake and gay. Basically.
Yes, the moon landing is beyond fake and gay. All right. So this is just real quick. These are all the bases in Antarctica. You know what's funny? So you got South America here, you got Australia over here, right? And so people from this base never go and meet people on these bases. These people never meet each other. They never, hey, let's meet at the North Pole, at the South Pole, at the exact South Pole. They never do that. It's highly restricted, right?
That is
Well,
something
look,
that I can you touch on that for just 1 second, the Antarctica issue before we get back to this?
yeah,
That is a something that most of us in our chat is probably pretty aware of, that Antarctica is locked down, there's treaties. That kind of speaks to
yeah,
the flat earth theory, right? Why is nobody allowed to explore Antarctica in
yeah,
a way? And why are all countries have a treaty when we can't agree on
yeah.
anything in the world, but we agree on Antarctica?
Well, they agree on that, and that everybody must get the jibby jab in the arm.
Exactly.
That isn't that weird. Those two things that are totally have to do with controlling the population. Those two things everyone agrees upon. Wake up, people! Wake up. Okay, so let's flip this inside out, like the real Earth. All of these bases are out here.
Right.
So somebody going from here to here, if they follow the shoreline, it would take 68 hours.
Right. That makes sense in this model.
Yeah. So
Back to space, I guess. Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
So let's talk about space here on Earth first, and then we'll talk. Then I'll show you how outer space is faker and gayer than you ever imagined. Okay. So here's you can go on these tracking sites. Now, by the way, we do not need to speculate what's farther beyond where we're allowed to go, which is 60 degrees south, to prove the Earth is flat. It's clearly flat. We can prove it from here. We also don't need to speculate what the lights in the sky are or how they move to prove the shape of the Earth, because we can prove it down here. But I love talking about those things. So this is a ship tracking site, and we found a ship, an active ship, 730 miles inside of the shoreline in Antarctica. Can you tell me how an active ship got there?
Inside of Antarctica's shoreline?
730 miles from the closest port. Okay? Right? And that would be 1.9 miles above sea level, according to Google Earth. And then we found another one, 905 miles. This is a little zoomed out, right? 2.37 miles up. What is going on there? Right? The answer is, this is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple, like 10 centuries old. It was published in 1907, I think, in a Hawaiian newspaper. And it's showing all of these other continents out here. Okay? This is interesting, right? Now, if you took that, imagine this map, you have it, it's like this big, right? This big. And you wrapped it around a basketball. The top of the map would wrap around pretty good, but all of this outside here would have to all be scrunched together, and you could just say, oh, it's a continent at the bottom of a ball, and you're not allowed to go explore there. Okay? So
what did you say this was from? This
is from a Buddhist temple that was found. It was published in 1907. Dude, the flat Earth is not an old ancient thing that was put away. They were teaching flat Earth here in public schools in America in the early 1900s. They still teach it in some other countries. Right?
Fascinating.
Yeah. So the question is, here is, so we looked up on the ship, and we said, look for information on it. And normally there's a ton of information, but all it says is it was 850 meters long, 80 meters wide, which is a gigantic ship. And it was registered in the nation of Kiribati. This is Kiribati. Kiribati is how it's spelled. It's called Kiribati, but that's the whole thing. Kiribati. Remember that. Okay. Let me just go back a little bit. This thing is in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And they say that it's a very important trade route. What? Right. And America gave them $10 billion not long ago. China gave them $10 billion. What's going on in Kiribati? Yeah.
I have to write that place down. Okay.
Keep going. You better write it down because they changed it. Hold on. So we looked at the ships that are around Kiribati, and we clicked on all of them. Very restricted information. It said destination unknown. All of the other ships, you can click on all of them. They always have a destination. Destination unknown or destination Christmas Island.
Oh.
Now, if you know the whole Christmas satanic thing, I don't know. All I'm saying is, again, another red flag, right? Also, they tell us that there was nuke testing there. And that's basically, when I hear that, you guys, are you aware of the nuclear bomb hoax?
We have never had the conversation whether or not the nuclear bomb was a hoax or not.
Nuclear bombs are a hoax.
I am familiar with that conversation.
Yeah. On my website, flatearthdave.com, there's a nuclear bomb banner near the bottom. And on there is episodes from Crow 777 Radio where they've done all the work for you. They completely show you there's no way to listen to that. Look at these guys.
Is that a highly controversial conversation as well? Because maybe
not as much as flat Earth.
No, definitely not. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So let's talk about time zones for a second, because this is all going to tie together. So on a ball, you have 24 time zones. Right? You have 24 time zones, a line from the North Pole to the South Pole, sectioning out like sections of an orange. And as it spins, wherever the sun is, it's noon. All right? That makes sense. However, there's this one time zone that does this crazy zigzag, right? This is the date line. Why would it zigzag like this? This goes across 3.5 time zones here. And guess what's right here?
And it's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? This time zone is?
Yeah, this time zone anomaly. It just goes like this. And this is where Kiribati is.
Oh.
And what does that mean? I don't know. What it means is that's suspicious. Okay? Right? And then our videos on this started going viral. And now when you search Kiribati, it takes you here, which is on the other side of the ocean. Right? If they change the name of Kiribati to Karamati, just since we've been making videos on it.
What?
Now, when you search Google Earth, it won't bring you here. This is the Kiribati, and now it's Karamati. No news on it. No nothing. Google Earth changed it. They do this all the time. They watch our stuff and they change it. Right? Let me ask you another question. If there's 24 hours in a day, how many time zones are there?
There's not 24. No, there's more than 24. There's actually more than 24, isn't there?
There should be 24, but there's 19 in the north, 24 in the tropics, and 32 in the south. Think about a flat Earth. It gets bigger and wider, so they need more time zones. Wrap that all together. And so this is how they hide the outer lands.
Wait, so on our current, this I didn't even really know. So in our current reality, there's 19 time zones around the North Pole, 24 around the
in between the tropics.
This is our current reality? There's different
Yes, this is our current reality right now.
I did not realize our current supposed reality.
Well, what is reality, right?
Okay, wait now. So in the global understanding of the world, this is real, that we have 24 time zones, 32 in a different spot and 19 in a different spot? That is
correct.
I did not know that, actually. I thought it was... Anyway.
They don't want to teach you anything. What did Rockefeller say about the school system? I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. Okay?
But that could I'm stupid, too. Maybe
you're
everybody
not stupid.
Did everybody know
stupid. It's stupid. Okay? You're not stupid, right? Don't give away your God-given common sense. You guys are faithful people, right?
Yeah,
this is a faith podcast, a faith-themed podcast, right?
Faith and liberty. There's
and liberty. Aspects. Perfect. Don't give your liberty or your faith away to other deceivers, right? These people with pocket protectors and the white lab coats, they're not here to teach you. They're here to entrap you. Okay.
Well, this is a message, actually, Dave, in all the things that we talk about. You know, we talk about conspiracy, we talk about being hidden, we talk about authority, and we talk about all this stuff, which is all blends into why we want to have this conversation with you.
And then we're going to get to this is exactly what you guys are talking about. So, what if it was a trade route? Here's Kiribati. And the ship is going out here. Now, remember, if we wrap that around a ball, that'll put this in the middle of Antarctica. What if there's other civilizations out here? What if this extra terra, if somebody lived on the extra terra out here, what might you consider them? An
Extraterrestrial.
extraterrestrial from where? The outer space.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll take it interesting.
I love the I love the challenging of words and how we understand certain perceptions of things, and immediately that makes sense to me. Extraterrestrial terrain. There's terrain.
Extraterra, right? Think about this. Those continents out there are just thousands of miles away, a couple thousand miles, right?
Right.
The closest now, I'm a believer that there's life out there, but are they coming from other solar systems? The next closest star to our solar system is 4.5 light years away. That's 25 trillion miles. 25 trillion miles. So, well, I'm going to show you how the school system failed you. I'm going to ask you the simplest question, and you might get it wrong. All right? I got it wrong.
Oh no!
If you're traveling at a mile per second for 1 trillion seconds, how many miles have you gone?
My brain want to say 1 trillion miles. If you went a mile
Per second for 1 trillion seconds, you went 1 trillion miles. Very good. Most people get that wrong. It's the simplest question ever. Yeah. All right, next question. So 25 trillion miles, if we went 1 trillion miles, how many more times do we have to do that to get to the star?
I forgot what the original star
25
did.
trillion. 25 trillion.
Yeah.
We want 1 trillion. We got to do it 24 more times.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long will that take us if we're going 1 mile per second? 25. So we want 1 trillion seconds. How long is 1 trillion seconds? If you guess it within 2 days, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get back to you maybe a little bit later on that one.
You want to just take a stab? Want to take a stab in the dark?
It's too high of a number to even compute. It's
31,000 years.
31,000 years. Okay. Yeah.
So if I route a rocket from Elon that goes 100,000 miles an hour, it's only going to take us 28,000 years to get there. Now, we're traveling through a void of no pressure. Nature abhors a vacuum. Inside of that vacuum are gas balls that we call stars and our sun, which are uncontained and held together by magical gravity, which is a theory. And then there's rocky balls that have gases stuck to the outside of them without a container. This is nonsense. This is absolute pseudoscience, but people will fight to defend this idiocy.
Because they've been told. Okay, well, wait now. Let me just back up 1 second for this, because this map is fascinating to me, Dave. And this thought of extraterrestrials, extraterrain, is it theoretical, or is it the theory of is it the thought of the people who believe in flat Earth that these other dots here, these black existences, are other worlds? Or other ponds?
Nations, right?
Other ponds?
That could be in our pond. So since you mentioned that,
but wait now, this center set that has this circles around it would be Earth. Flat
that
Earth.
would be our pond. But so again,
so are there more ponds basically? If
again,
there are more
we
ponds,
don't know. This is speculation. But if this is our pond right here, right, that purple line is 60 degrees south. No independent exploration beyond that.
Right.
Okay. What if the Earth was set up like this, right? This is us right here in the middle, America, South America. The white ring is Antarctica, and what's out there is more land, extra territory. Now, you want to just take that to the next level, maybe our world is set up like this, right? This is the Lord of the Rings, right? You have the inner ring, the middle ring, and the outer ring, and each one of them could have their own sun.
Isn't this what Atlantis also is supposed to be shaped like, with the concentric rings? Anyway, I went into a different thought there. Yeah. But that map, when you when I was thinking about flat Earth or the pond aspect of it, that last map really kind of shapes what I think when I think of the pond, that there's a bigger plane and there's multiple ponds, and our
So
planet
let me ask,
is that pond, right?
Let me add, well, so you can look at it. This is now again. I'm just having fun speculating what could
Me
be out
too.
there.
That's all
right?
I'm doing right now is with you as
So
well.
here is we're here. This is our pond right here,
Yeah.
right? So this is our local pond. It's got 3 rings, and out here are other ponds occupying a piece of the plane, right? Each pond is another piece of the plane or a planet. Okay.
Oh my God. Wow.
This is 178 known worlds, they say. This is from a book called The Navigator Across the Ice Wall. And it is a very great, fun read. It's literally the story of Star Wars, but here on Earth. I have a book section on the app. And if you go to the More Land section, Navigator Across the Ice Wall right here. I'm actually reading this book right now. It's awesome. And there's all sorts of stuff in here. The Iron Republic. Hey, if you don't have time to read, you have you commute or whatever. You can just search the Iron Republic on YouTube. There's a channel called The Morgile, and he read it. He did a great job. 5.5 hour book read, and it is a fantastic story about somebody in the 1800s that got a ship, went to Antarctica, found an opening, and then ended up going to more land on the other side of the ice wall, lived there for 10 years. An advanced society was living there. And then he came back in 1901 and published all the information in Florida Magazine, which you cannot find a single copy of it today.
Interesting. Oh, this is all, it's all interesting, Dave.
Here's the thing, everybody listening. Do not believe anything I say. Do not believe the trolls. They're going to show up in the comments.
We got the chat room was interesting already.
Yeah. But do not believe anything. You need to verify this stuff yourself. And Google is not going to feed it to you. You Google flat Earth, anything, it's going to feed you, Professor Dave, which is this propped up failed musician. It's going to feed you all of these other troll accounts. That do not want you going there. They're going to be accusing me of stuff, but what you'll notice is they never offer a globe proof. And also, when the bots show up, my Lord, how many bots show up? Like the more bots that show up, leaving comments, that shows you that you're over the target, right?
Yeah.
So
I got
on my website, flatearthdave.com, there's you can get the app there. It's $3. Or you can scroll down and there's a picture of me and it says Crash Course. There is a list of videos. If you want to take the challenge, I tell people you have to watch every day. There's a new featured video on the app right here. You have to watch that for 2 weeks, every video, and then send me your proof. But before you send the proof, you have to hit the question mark button. And that brings you to the frequently asked questions page. And usually the question is answered here. But if you go to the Crash Course and just watch the first 5 or 10 videos, you won't be sending me a globe proof. You'll be sending me a, what did you do to my life? Now I have to be a flat earther email.
That's awesome. I am going to talk more about your app in 1 second, but there's a couple things I want to challenge.
Sure.
Only because I'm on BitChute looking at their chat room and there's a couple people in here, and it's not me saying this. I want to say
no. Go ahead. Ask away.
They're talking that there's no more continents, that is satanic BS, that there's no more land, that there's a dome firmament.
Yeah.
What is this person referring to?
So in biblically it says that there is God separated the waters from the waters, created the earth. And then the dome firmament, which is a crystalline reflective mirror, touches down somewhere. Now, maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen it. We've seen things interact with it. We've seen electrical interactions. We've seen rockets hit it. We've gotten the whistleblowers from NASA talking about it. But what if that firmament touched down 1 million miles past the shoreline of Antarctica? That would be a lot of area, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know what's out there. All of our world leaders, they all go to Antarctica. They disappear for a couple of days and they come back. There's so many stories about stuff going on in Antarctica. I was listening to a show from Veritas Radio the other day, the Veritas Project, not Veritas, not James O'Keefe Veritas. This is it's veritasradio.com or Veritas Project. I think he changed the name. And it's a guy that was he was hired to film something in Antarctica, and he whistle blew on the whole thing. He said there's millions of people living there in Antarctica, in cities. Like, what's going on down there? I think that the real rulers of our world live in Antarctica. When I say Antarctica, beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, which some people call the ice wall.
I love that thought. That anyway, it's fascinating, Dave. But I'm the firmament idea that comes from the Bible. Is that something that you're not denying that is possible, or that?
No. I personally think there is a some sort of crystalline dome up there. Some people think it's energetic. I also think that there's 10 layers, 10 domes above us. So there's different heavenly layers.
Interesting.
If you follow syncretism at all, if anyone knows, Santos Bonacci does some great work on it. And I'm actually speaking at Acapulco, a freedom conference in Acapulco next week.
I was going to ask you about that, actually. When while we're talking about it, tell me about that. What is Acapulco, and why are you going?
Yeah, well, I was invited last year for the first time. So Jeff Berwick from the Dollar Vigilante, it used to be I think it used to start off as a purely crypto show, a crypto conference. And then it got into more truth and health and everything. They have great speakers there: David Avocado Wolf, Andrew Kaufman, Beth Martins, just all sorts of amazing people. And Jeff,
all my friends for sure know why I'm asking you about this right now, just because I'm familiar with Jeff. So this is fantastic that you're actually.
Would you watch Jeff's walk and talks? I love those videos.
Well, I consider myself an ANCAP anyway, an anarcho-capitalist, and this is actually a place that I would love to go attend so badly, to be able to go talk to all these.
So I was communicating with Jeff for a few years. He's just like, people. He goes, people aren't ready for flat Earth yet. And then last year, he's like, they're ready. And so I went. There was 50 speakers. Now I expected, I don't know, maybe 20% of them to be on my side. Out of 50 speakers, 49 of them were either flat or ball skeptics. And I basically, if you're a ball skeptic, you're flat. All right. And my presentation was the highest attended presentation.
Wow.
Weird. Right. And then this year they said, I'm not invited back because, there's too many, they're like, we're not going to do flat Earth again this year. But then 6 months later, they're like, we changed our mind. Jeff wants you to come back.
That's awesome. That is a huge event, though. That's getting bigger and bigger. There's a lot of incredible speakers.
Oh my God, it's so fun! It's so amazing, and it's a 6-day event.
Yeah.
And it's just even just to go and be around such high vibrating people, it's amazing. And it's not too late to get a ticket if you want to get away. If you're in the cold, it's a quick flight to Acapulco, and it is super amazing. And you get to hang out with me.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to leave the country right now just because of the legal issues. No, I'm just joking. But I would love to go there. And of course, meeting you and talking more about this fascinating topic would be incredible. But that's coming up when? What is it? February? That starts this week, I believe.
Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, I'm flying out on Saturday. And if you want more information, go to my website and there's a big banner. Looks like this kind of, and click it. 10% off with FE Dave also.
And I'm going to share your link and all your places where you can. Where
the only place you need to find me is flatearthdave.com. All my channels are there. My YouTube channels are there. Everything's there.
I love it. So, Dave, a couple more questions. Do you often? How much do you focus on the biblical aspect? It seems like you're in the science more so, but is that part of your conversation when you're talking to people? Let me tell you, that's a great question. I love that question. When I was researching stuff in the years prior to Flat Earth, Flat Earth started in 2014. I'd be listening to guys are talking about whatever. I got 3 pages of notes, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, let's take out the Bible and pray," or they'll just say something, they'll quote the Bible. I'm like, "Oh, these are religious fanatics." Tear up the papers, unsubscribe, and move on, because that's how a lot of the world was, right?
But when I discovered that the earth is flat, now what does that mean? It means it's intelligently designed. It means that the Big Bang is a bunch of nonsense made up by a Jesuit priest, right? That we are at the center of creation, that we're part of this living system. This is a soul system, not a soul lure system, a system made for souls to have experiences in God's domain. Then once you find flat earth, you cannot deny creation. There are 0 real flat earthers that don't know that God exists. And
That's
not a theory.
That's a big statement. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 0. There's 0. And so on the app here, and by the way, my the Flat Earth podcast, my co-host is Matt Long, who comes from purely the biblical side and was a great max because, science works for everybody. Biblical proofs only work for people that are on the biblical side.
That's
you can
true.
go to somebody that's atheist and give them a biblical proof, and they'll be like, "Get out of here, whack job!" Right?
What was his name, Dave?
Matt Long.
Matt Long.
Matt Long.
That's also fascinating. Where we have a faith aspect to the show, a huge faith aspect.
Yeah,
that could be a good information for sure.
In the book section under biblical, he just wrote a book called. Where is it? Not the Flat Earth Bible. His book should be in here. If it's not, he's going to yell at me. It's in here somewhere. But he wrote the House That Jesus Built, and it's a great book.
The House That Jesus Built.
The House That Jesus Built. MattLongBook.com. I probably got that wrong, but I think that's where it is. Where the hell is it?
It's unfortunate.
Oh, there it is. There it is. House That Jesus Built on the right there.
Perfect.
So here it is. The House That Jesus Built.
So that is a big part of the conversation, though. Am I right? The flat Earth. There is a huge conversation. I noticed that on Gab. That
right here,
is
the biblical section. When you click it, up come this great stuff. Every Sunday, Marty Leeds does a biblical sermon, flat Earth based. He's amazing. He's not your normal preacher. Right? It's a fantastic. You can watch them all. They're here. They're on YouTube. But every Sunday morning, it's
cool.
It's amazing. This is Biblical Cosmology Remastered. This pastor in I think in South Carolina did this incredible series, and then somebody remastered it, put all the pictures in. Biblical Flat Earth section here. The top video in there is actually by Matt, and it's called Dear Pastor. So it's about an 8-minute video where it basically is a pitch to pastors to look into flat Earth. And I don't know how any pastor can watch that 8-minute video and not go, I better look into this, because it's amazing. It's amazing. Here's the thing. When you think about flat Earth, unless you have somebody like me pointing you in the right direction, you're going to find garbage. You're going to laugh at it. You're going to say it's stupid, and you're never going to look at it again. And it's just like, no. But when you actually take the time, and so why the lie? On the excuse me, on the free
that is a good question. Why the lie?
Why the lie right here?
Lie?
This is the greatest section, worth the cost of the app right there. But why the lie? And it's because they can't control a population that knows about the creator. You cannot control people that know there's a higher power, that knows that nobody is above them other than the creator, right? So why the lie? Because the globe is literally a prison for your mind, right? Try taking a ball away from somebody that has their whole life wrapped around it. It's like taking a ball away from a baby, right? So if this is, our minds are incredible, powerful, telepathic, things that create reality. Our minds create our reality. They don't want you to know that. They want to dumb you down. They fluoridate you. They annate you. Right? I don't want to say it because it's going to be on YouTube.
We don't play on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm actually with the YouTube later. So after you guys are done with it,
you're just getting prepared to be talking on YouTube here.
So this is your mind, and this is your mind on the globe. It literally disconnects you from creation.
That is, it's kind of beautiful.
It's a prison for your mind, right? The globe is finite. We're running out of water. We're running out of food. We're running out of energy. We're overpopulated. All of this climate change, all of the nonsense. There is unlimited resources. Unlimited resources, right? There's
It's
like
sort of like the peak oil myth.
14,000 different fruits. How many can you name? 7?
If that.
Right.
That is okay.
Yeah. And so people say, why, what has Flat Earth done for your well-being? Well, 1, I'm more at peace. I'm not afraid of anything. 2, greater sense of freedom. I know there's more. I know that, all the stuff on the news is nonsense. And news steering your mind, north, east, west, south. News steering your mind, and closer connection to the creator.
That is an interesting connection you made there. Wow, you're blowing my mind in several ways here tonight, Dave.
Yeah.
Closer connection to the creator, and I guess that is beautiful in itself.
Yeah.
Tell me about your app, Dave. Tell me.
I will in 1 second.
Okay.
Divine law is the law of God. Common law is the law of the land. Statute and admiral maritime law is the law of the sea or man's law. In order to convince man to give up his divine rights and their common rights, you have to convince them that they're not divinely created in the divine world. So if they create a ball when you're born, they commoditize you, they give you a birth certificate, they register you, they indoctrinate you. School is indoctrination. It's not learning. It's just pure indoctrination, right? So if you play on their ball field, you have to play by their rules, right? If they played on God's ball field, natural law, they could never make any laws that go against natural law. So they created their entire world, and they got your parents to say, yep, I'm going to sign that birth certificate. I'm going to basically, they're giving all of your rights away to this deep state. All right. To the app, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Wait now. One question from Plaid Looney.
Go.
He asked, I would love to hear about how the sun's rays shining through the clouds spread out.
Corpuscular rays. We'll talk about that. I have time for that.
Okay.
So
just because the challenge was put there, and there had to be a couple challenges, and
so,
I know.
I don't think that's a challenge. I think he just wants me to. That's another flat Earth proof. That's another flat Earth proof.
Oh,
yeah. So look at these light. These are called corpuscular rays. They're spreading out. Okay, and so the globers will say, "Well, that's just perspective." Well, the ones that are going away, perspective should bring them together, but they're still diverging, going away. Because look at railroad tracks. When they go away, they converge. Right? They converge. When you look down railroad tracks, down far away, they look like they're touching. Right? They converge. Yeah. So these over here should be converging, but they're not. They're diverging because it's a small local sun. It goes back to, where is it? Eratosthenes. So they tell us, let me just find it real quick. So the globers like doing two things: looking up at the lights in the sky that are impossible, like a gas ball of helium and hydrogen that can hold on to Pluto and ignore our moon. What are you talking about? All right. They go to these guys that are all from history. I don't know if any of them existed, right? They're just stories for his story, right? So here is the story of Eratosthenes. He one day noticed that there was you could see the sun at the bottom of a well, which means that the sun was directly above the well. Great observation. All right. And he said, all right, if I put a stick in the ground, there'll be no shadow. You put a stick in the ground, there's no shadow. And he said, well, the earth is a ball. If I sent my buddy 500 miles away and he put a stick in the ground vertically, if the earth is a ball, there'd be different length shadows. So his buddy walked 500 miles, counting his steps. That's how he knew he went 500 miles. Could you imagine that? Right? 17,928. Good morning, sir. What number was I on? Right? Like, forget it. He went 500 miles somehow could communicate with Eratosthenes. And, here's Eratosthenes, no shadow. And here's his buddy, got a shadow. You could do some perfectly good math and figure out the sphericity of this ball based on the length of the shadows. That's good, assuming straight rays, assuming the Earth is a globe. However, on a flat Earth with a small local sun, here's Eratosthenes. He's got no shadow. Here's his buddy, 500 miles away. He's got a shadow. You could do the same math. Math is not reality. That math will tell you the sphericity of this flat plane. Right? So that's go look at the sunlight coming through the clouds. It's corpuscular. It's a local sun. How far away is the sun? What is the sun? I couldn't tell you, but I think we all see the sun in an apparent position. We all see it in a different position. So we kind of have a personal relationship with the sun. You still there? Did I lose you? I think you got kicked out also. We lost power. Am I still on?
Hold on. Can you? Here I am.
Now.
I'm back.
I hear you. Can you.
Okay, Dave. We have lost power in our location here.
Wow. All right.
So I'm now on my phone, and
so we're not streaming anymore.
This is so crazy. This has never happened before.
All right, are we streaming? Is it over?
I don't know what you were just talking about. No, I'm still in darkness. The stream is still going live. You're still live right now. So let's just keep going, and you finish your thoughts here, and talk about your app, and then we'll go. Okay.
That's crazy. All right, make me full screen though. Make me full screen though, because otherwise it won't work.
I see, hold on. Okay.
I see you.
Hold on.
All right, and I'll just be quick on the app.
I can see how to do that.
It's half the screen. Maybe turn off your camera.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So
keep going. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, keep going.
So real quick, the app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's on my website, flatearthdave.com. It's $3 for the app, which gives you 95% of the features. On it is the friend finder, right? And so if I show you worldwide, people say, oh, flat Earth is dying. The Globers will say flat Earth is dying. Flat Earth is over, or whatever. Look at the number of people that have, this is the UK. Okay. These are the people that have my app. This represents 1% of the flat earthers out there. Here's the US and Canada, right? This is real. Now, on there,
this is growing. So this is an indication how big this is growing, right?
Oh, it is growing left and right. They're doing everything they can. They just had a big operation trying to, they took some flat earthers to Antarctica. It was a massive deception. Again, just like NASA, we didn't get into the space stuff. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll come back and do another one on space. But on the app,
I might have to get you back in the future, Dave, because this is just too much. Keep going.
On the app, if you go to the more resources page, there's one of my favorite sections is rockets are balloons and NASA nonsense, moon mission nonsense. Great sections. And here we got Alex Michael over here. All of his stuff is there. All sorts of stuff on the app. But there is a subscription if you want to be able to message people, if you want to go into profiles. I have a dating app on here. Basically, you can say, hey, I'm interested in females between this age group within 100 miles of my location. And then you could swipe from profile to profile. You can message them.
Holy crap.
It's super amazing.
That's actually so important because of how hard it is to find like-minded people, especially when you're in a black sheep that is in your world. So fast. That's kind. That's neat.
It's super amazing. There's already babies happening. And then I had a meetup maker where you can create a meetup. And then if you go in, that's going to turn sideways. Let me see if I can change that. That is not going to work. Hold on. Nope, not going to work. So the meetup maker, you can say, notify me of any meetups within 500 miles or whatever radius you pick. And that way, when someone creates a meetup, you'll get an email saying, hey, there's a meetup happening on Saturday, whatever. And people are getting together. These meetups are turning into regular things all over the place. There's all sorts of of stuff. Biblical section, as I showed you before. The old world section, which is one of my favorites. Have you looked into the old world much?
Yeah, is that the Tartaria stuff?
Well, you can call it
Is
Tartaria, but it's beyond Tartaria. Yeah. I recommend Old World Order. It's a great starting point. And then my favorite channel is My Lunch Break. This guy kicks butt. He's on YouTube. He's on Rumble. He's everywhere. Just look him up, or he's on the app. And this guy, I'm the Improbable Dreamer. He's on Instagram. Mind-blowing stuff. Just you'll get hooked into this stuff, and then you look into the old world, the old trees, Cabbage Patch Kids. Don't even go.
Yeah. I've read some of it.
Yeah, it's wild. Biogeology, amazing stuff. You can search for videos without any Google censorship. I got some trivia game on here, different languages. It's mostly English on the app. Daily video every day. Archive, and then you can. And then images. Let's say, let's look up lunar rover. I'll just type in the LEM, right? And so when someone wants to talk about the moon landing, you can easily pull up a picture and say, do you believe that this is a spaceship? Look at this thing. It's made from paper mache and tape. If somebody sheetrocked your basement like that, would you pay them? Okay.
Not the amount that we've been paying these people.
Yeah. But you can just look up. There's thousands and thousands of images on here on all sorts of stuff. So you can just pull up all sorts of stuff. Book section, shopping section, homeschool section. Amazing. And if you want to see,
okay, Dave. Enough of the grifting. I'm just
yeah. Is that that's what's going on in the chat? There you go.
Is that what they're saying? I can't even see the chat right now.
I'm sure that's what they're saying. It's okay. Listen.
I'm only joking with you, though.
No, it's okay. Just remember, when the trolls show up, go check their channels, because they have what I call the globe proof channels. There's absolutely nothing on the channels. They're either lazy trolls or bots. I can't decide. But there it is. So that's I make the app so people can easily share the information, learn about flat Earth, and then teach others about it. That's all.
And that's beautiful. So I appreciate that you have that out there. And for those people that are in, you provide a service for people. It seems like it's a very detailed service. So it makes sense
price,
that you
$3. Right. And by the way, on the Friend Finder, last thing, this isn't a grift. This is actually, if you don't want to pay the $11 a year, you can for the subscription, you click that middle button up there, and then you'll have a random number here. Just change it to something that you like. So when you show someone the app and you're teaching them about flat Earth, they always go, where do I get the app? Say, use my referral code when it asks, and then you get points. You get 11 points. You can trade it in for a free year subscription, but you also earn 1 million dome cryptocurrency if you put in a wallet address.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
So
you thought of it all.
We don't mine coins, we mind coins. So you wake somebody up to the truth. You actually mine a million dome coins, and who knows what they'll be worth. But you get them for free. So there you go.
We all like free stuff.
Yeah, we do. All right.
Dave, I had I'm sure there's a million things that I could have asked you, but it was such a broad topic, and we just wanted to have a conversation with you and just pick your brain about this world. And maybe in the future we'll have a more in-depth chat about some of the space stuff, or just let me, I guess, go back and digest all this, and then we might have a much bigger chat in the future. But I appreciate.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone, go to my website, the Crash Course, amazing videos there, or my interviews channel, and I even have a banner on there that says selected interviews, and you can see like some of my top interviews: Roseanne Barr, Jim Brewer, InfoWars, Coast to Coast AM, all sorts of stuff. So just start watching some of those. Think for yourself. Don't believe anybody. Verify everything.
Great advice, and that's advice for everything that we're digesting out there, really. So,
all right,
Dave, I'll let you go and get back to educating people about the actual reality of our world, I guess, and we will leave it at that. And I appreciate everything. I'm sorry for all the technical issues, Dave,
That's but
it's okay. I appreciate that we stuck through it, and we'll maybe in the future we'll have another conversation, and I just appreciate your time, your brain, and your commitment to something that you believe in and you feel that everybody should know. And there's something admirable about that,
Yeah, the belief is the enemy of knowing, or belief is the lazy man's knowing. It's easy to believe anything because it takes no effort. To know something, you have to actually use critical thought and common sense.
Well said.
There you go.
That's a
Thanks so much
wonderful
for
way.
having me. See ya.
Thank you, Dave. Take care.
All right,
Appreciate
bye-bye.
it.
Hey, everyone, if you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information. And the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. And let's make 2025 the year Flat Earth breaks free. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.